Hey guys, how's it going? We got a delivery of sheet metal. That panel. Stick that on there, and we got this panel. It's kind of light. Well, and we got this one, but this one's the other side. Yeah, one's on back order. It should be, I don't know, a week to 10 days, they're saying. We'll see how that works out for us. But we can keep moving from there. This one looks fairly decent. I'd say it's probably 18 or 20 gauge. I haven't measured it yet. It's fairly thick. And it comes down to that bottom edge. But we can continue making the bottom of the rocker, because they do not sell it. And not that it really needs it. But I want to try my hand in creating that. The hardest part is probably going to be creating this soft edge. This shouldn't be a problem on the brake, but this rolled one is what's going to be the difficult one. Let's get her up in the air, get the camera set up, and let's give it a shot. Alright, we know we need to build to at least here. We are going to need 53.5. We'll call it 54, which is going to be a little tricky because the brake is only 48 inches wide. Let's see if we can get a profile. Probably the only good spot left on it. Let's see if we can get an idea of what we need for a bend. Yeah, that's going to be the fun one to do. I measured that, it was 20 gauge. So this is 57. And we got 29 to play with. So we could probably have, I don't know, about 3 or 4 practice runs before we run out of metal on this sheet. I want to cut a slice off a small piece. We'll work with that first, see if we can duplicate it on a small section, and then from there we'll move on instead of wasting big pieces. Yes, this is a newly acquired machine, so I'm still learning the ropes on it. And I think we'll figure it out together. Again, we're going to try we're trying to make that bend, that soft bend right there. Right now, it just has a 1/2 inch die, a 1 inch die rather, in it. And if you go to use it, what you get is a bend that looks like that. So we want to try to make a soft bend. I have some other dies we can play with, but nothing that's really the length of the machine. This machine is 48 inches wide. So I think maybe what we'll try and do, maybe we'll lay some material in there and try making a bend. And one thing I have is this roll of rubber material, this stuff. So maybe we'll slice some of this off and we'll lay it maybe top and bottom of the die and see what that does for us. Let me get set up. Get you backed up a little bit. Let's see, we got to open the gap up a little. We got to run it down. Let's try it like that first. Try a light hit and sneak up on it. Yeah, it still kind of makes a sharp bend. It's still doing a... We're gonna look for... We're looking for that. Don't know. I wonder how it would be more lengthwise. We'd probably try doubling it up too, right? What's... You think the... Let's try doubling it up, see what happens. I wonder if 18 gauge would give us a different result too. A little more resistance to bending, you know. That. Let's go. What direction are we gonna go? Oh. I have a knife die, but I think that's just going to make things worse. Knife die means the top die's even pointier. Let's see if this will do for us. Yeah. Still going to be about the same thing. I guess if I... Yeah, the idea is, I guess, having a round top die. The best is having a round top and bottom, but I guess worst case, we get as close as we can to that line. The first one actually isn't terrible. Not what we're looking for. You know, again, when you fill it with Bondo, you could probably... It actually isn't terrible, is it? But make it the same on both sides too, you won't even know. You can see the two upper dies I got. So that's the knife die. It's got a sharper. And this is a fatter die, but it would use a fatter bottom die. I don't believe I have 4 feet of that though. I think it's all I have is right what you see right there. And a couple of different profiles. That's another knife die. Here's a fat setup here too, but again, I'm trying to wonder if possibly maybe we go for that fat die and leave the thin one, skinny one on the bottom. That make you nervous? It's not running. Let's go and take the other piece that I have. Let's do a little bit of lengthwise one and just see what we get out of it. Let's go try that out. Go right for the middle of it. Look good? There. I think with the tooling that I have, it's probably about the softest bend we're going to be able to get. We're looking for that one right there, right? Yeah, I think we can call that for a win. And then we have, actually no, we're looking for this one right here. That's the soft bend we're looking for. That one. It's a fillers for. My other thought was trying to bend it over like a radius of a table or something. All right, so we are saying that that is going to be that one. And you're going to want to return the bend right there. Right there. Sometimes you got to work these things at different. I don't know if that's under. I don't know if we have a third one or not there. Gotta look back at the car. This might be just where it stops. I'm not sure. Let's go a little tighter. It's gonna run it down first though. Yeah, I missed that one by a mile. I should have bent it there. I'm in at least the 1/8 of an inch, probably more than that. So let's go make, we need one going, I think, this way. My eyeball calculations. When you look down on the die, you think you're over the center of the die, but you're looking at it on an angle, so I'm on the goofy side. I think I need to reset my tool. The joke's to yourself. Alright, let's go for a long piece. And we're going to let it hang off the edge of the die on each side, and then come back and stamp it again. I'm going to try it without any material. Better than it was before. So I'm going to go measure off that line for the next one. See if we can get this one. I suck. Oh man. Ruined it. Ruined it. Had it and I ruined it. Try it again. working off the better side of the truck just for eyeball it up. That's looking pretty good. And then I say our next bend, we'll go for right there. And that needs to be in 90, so we're gonna have to squash that one all the way, but that's got kind of a, you know, not quite 90. We'll start with what we have it already set up on, then we'll probably hit it a little harder. Let's go start with that though. I also cut this piece down to 54, so it's not overhanging as far, so we're not worried about the tail of it. But again, the panel's long enough, so. All right, you see? That's how this does for us. Let's see what we got. We're not going to be able to put it up close, unfortunately. So I just got to measure this depth and make another bend. We'll call that falling off the chair. Call that one. Sometimes I can't see the tape, so I'll just mark it right on the tape. We'll go for right there. It's like a 11/16, 5/8, 3/4, one of those. I have a feeling we got to go tighter on these two. Actually, not bad. I think there's a bit of a gap there. Yeah, I think I want to hit these same spot just a little harder. I need to get that a little closer to 90. That's all. I think we got it. As long as I don't screw it up, that is. I kicked it a little further. How are we doing? I'm gonna call that a win. We got one last one. It has a slight bevel going in one last time. Is that the one I messed it up on? We're getting so close. So yeah, I'm gonna go mark it one more time, do one last bend. I'm gonna leave the big fat piece on there. We'll cut that down later. But I'm liking that. It's starting to look like something, huh? One last time. I think it'll be fine when we cut that away. I think it's because it's gonna. Right now we're being held up by whatever the thickness of this is from going up all the way. And I think all those lines will line right up. I like that. I think we got her. Bye, Joe. I think we need ourselves a rocker. Not sure where I want to blend it up in here. That's why I left me a bunch of room, but I could slice this off to whatever this thickness is. Yeah. Yeah. We got to do it one more time. I don't think this side is totally blown. We're going to whack on it with a hammer. But I think we only need about a 12-inch piece for this side. Maybe not. I may just try doing, maybe I'll try doing a 48. That way I don't have to kind of slide it back and forth. I think the front will measure. Well, I'll tap on this. If this is all solid, maybe we can kind of go right from here back. and make one last piece for this side. Let's go try off fit that on the crustier side. That other panel's going to come down to there. Let's say we're pretty close to. So put a big dent in it. I'd say it's pretty close to any store-bought panel I could have bought. We got about a half-inch overhang for the front, so that hopefully we can cut that or fold it. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. There we go. So we have an overhang here. Now this has got to fold back on itself, or should anyway, and make a flange for the inside, so we have enough meat to go do that. I'll cut it here, 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 and we'll bend them in to match and kind of cap off that end to make that panel. The other side, I don't know. It doesn't have that from the factory, so let me go set that wheel well on there, see what it looks like. Yeah, it's sitting a little high. It's gonna come down. There we go. I think we can fudge those two together pretty good, huh? Again, it's supposed to be more of a smooth line here. This one I think we're okay with, but again, if you don't tell anybody, they won't know. Once we fill it. That's what Bond does for it, right? I think that'll make for a good cross section. I wish I had that last piece, you know, I can kind of do it all in one time. But it is what it is. All right, well, it is New Year's Eve around 7 o'clock or so, so I'm gonna go wrap it up, try to enjoy the evening, and we'll pick this back up from there. But that's looking much better. I'm just sticking over the top of it there. Gives you the mental encouragement to keep moving. Alright, so it's the next day, and I'm pretty happy with this panel, except for that last hit. It ended up rolling up. You can see how much fatter this dimension is than this dimension. Not that we can't fudge that and hammer that back, kind of like when we're fine-tuning it, but while I was in the mood, I made number 2. Joke there. But I skinnied up this dimension a little bit so that it kind of is more closer to the profile of that. Not sure which one I'm going to use. I also left more material up top, but the other side still needs to be addressed. So we got 2 of them made. But right now, I'm going to go make a line, and that's going to be our no-go line. We cannot go past that anywhere on the body, or else we're out of where we made metal. I'm gonna pull that stuff off. I'm probably gonna back up. It depends. We're gonna go back up probably about 1 inch and cut off what's there. We can or can't do the record. I'm not that concerned about that. We'll cut that off, get it out of our way, and I got to see what we have for a drop behind it and what we need to recreate for that part of it. So I'm thinking we could probably use the plasma cutter. But first, we need to do a little don't want to set it on fire. And you wonder why it rushed out. Oh, in between doing this, I took the tailgate off. Went to go put the tailgate back on and kind of size some stuff up in the back. The tailgate must have dumped out about, a pile about 1 foot square of acorns, about 12 inches, about 10 inches tall. It was 3/4 full of acorns. So, not that there's any over here either. That's what pretty much took it out. Critters are the ones that cause most of this rust damage. And on the other video, I also showed the frame rail. When I dug all the mouse nests out of the frame rail. The other frame rail had the exact same problem. I'm gonna go, I'll show you in a second. So what I have is magnetic tape. This is stuff that, you know, the people make the door magnets out of, refrigerator magnets. So I'm gonna go take that and stick it on the body. Some of you are already ahead of me, kind of know what I'm gonna go do, but I'm gonna double it up. Let's go make this one right on the line. Cut it to length. You already know that's a straight edge up there. Straight enough edge. So I'm going to go take that. I'll probably take that piece of angle I got over in the corner, butt up to it, make sure it's straight. We're going to do one more. Do the same thing. Get all the rust off of it. Now all the rust is sticking to it. I got a big roll of this I bought at a yard sale. Go figure, right? I got about 300 feet of it. And you can kind of use it over and over again. I'm going to go tweak that with a straight edge on top, and I'll bring you right back. Got a little self-stick straight edge. Still connected in some places down below. You get the idea. I'm going to go wiggle that off of there and see what we got for a lower level. Alright, we're in. So now, got to figure out where we get back to good metal on this one. I'm going to say roughly probably about the same area. I don't know if I want to cut the wheel well yet or not. Might give us a little bit more. It's got to come off anyway. You know? Looks decent. And then so we can scab them over. Probably maybe we'll put it. Yeah, maybe we'll put it up from behind, and then we can be able to weld it from the outside here. It looks like there's a ridge. Yeah, there's a ridge right there. Maybe I'll use that line. We'll cut it right on that line. You think? And then we'll sand it back. As long as you get good metal on the edge there, I'm happy with that. People are, on the last video, were saying why don't I use well-through primer and all. I've used all that stuff, and I got my own setup that I use. We'll see that later. Looks like there's an indent for a drain that's clogged. Yeah, looks like we just kind of punch out a little hole. I'll do the same. I'll just drill it from the back. We'll make holes. There's one there, and I'm sure there's probably one there and somewhere else. Now let's just pop this out of our way for now. Maybe I'll just trim that, you know. I need this for a dimension though. Not that we can't put it back on, so we got to know from that edge where we're going to meet down here. All right, let me get that chopped off there too. Turn that up a little bit. That sure makes life a lot easier, doesn't it? I cleaned off that bottom edge so we have like a cab mount or a body mount bracket coming right down. It's like an outrigger off the frame. This is the end of it that attached to the wall. I'd like to be able to try to scab up behind it if we can, but we need to separate that. That should do it. I'm going to come back with the whiz wheel. We'll knock off this little flippy thing here, make it straight across. Watch your eyes. There we go. Put a little bit more light on the subject. Maybe that's better. So we got to get, it's going to attach to this wall right here, but this is, I think, still part of the end cap of it. Let's go see, tap on it. I'm sure it's got welds here. See if we can get that. I'm sure not going right through. Feels like it. That's all boxed in, it's hard to tell. I don't know if we're supposed to be leaving that there or not. There's a framed in section right here. I think what I'm going to do I was thinking about taking the piece that we have and folding it over. Decisions. We could probably deal with that later. We're still working with the inside skin. Let's think about that a little. Maybe we'll try bending the edge over a little bit, see how it looks, and if not, we'll cut it flush, and maybe we'll just try like welding, grind this back a little bit and try welding to it. This is gonna get filler over it anyway, and then recut the line. But it is. Over here, there's like a stiffening ridge. Probably goes up, probably makes an X on the back of the panel, something like that. I'm just gonna body hammer this flat right here so that I can butt a piece of metal up to it and give it something to weld to. There's no, the rest of it doesn't have it anyway. You got one there, and it looks like what's left of one right here. It looks like it stops right there. Maybe we just do a little bit. I see if we can beat that. Alright, so we need that drop to be down there. I don't know, 2.5? I'll double check the other side as we go along. All depends on how far up I can reach. I don't want to get into that ridge though, you know. I hammered this part same as the other end. Let's cut, you know, I could also actually notch around that a little bit. It's easy to be oversized and work your way back than it is to. So here, should have measured off of this. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the quarter back on, the wheel well. I'm going to put the wheel well back on. Find out what the bottom is from that top line. I'll make a dimension from here so I know what I'm working with. Say if it's a 1/2 inch below here, I'll know where to go. We'll just write it right on the body. Also, it's blowing out in this area. So we gotta, when we go to put the outer sheet on, maybe we'll address that. Either we'll do that a separate patch. Or can we come up to here? I don't know. We'll worry about that when we get there. Let's go throw a panel up there. Judging by where we were, that's almost the bottom. And if we look, it kind of looks like I can't wait. So we are going to want to be, actually we can fudge the quarter a little too if you have to. So that's going up all the way right now on that bracket, on that. I say we just call this side right there, huh? That should get us where we need to be. Other side. Let's go here. Hold on. So this end we know I have to run this line, change it a little. So let's look at the bottom, I guess. So the bottom, of course, is going to be right, so it's right to the bottom of that. Yeah. So that's kind of right on the money. I don't know. If we fold these in, I think we have room to work with in the back. We have about 3/4 of an inch to play with. Maybe we'll go over the anvil. We'll put a slice a little bit. Let's try rolling these in and we'll butt it up. See how we like it? I'd prefer to try to do that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get in there with a welder though. That's the other thing. If we recess it enough, we could weld here. We taper it in. I don't know. We could taper them all in, right? We could literally just, if we come in further than that, and we just grind up little V's, if we like make it taper, it'll give us some place to weld. Let's go try that. Let's see what happens. We'll get the lose, right? Let's see if we can fix that edge first before we roll it over. So we want that line kind of something like that. We want to steer it a little bit. It's just not very defined either. So let's see if we can. Let's see what we get. Cut the little tab off the bottom. We didn't use that either. So we can come right up to it. It's not too bad. I have a feeling we're going to end up maybe taking some of this. Maybe it's just right here. Seems like it gets better as it goes down. Some of that bend out, a little too much bend it looks like right here. We can work that though. That's not too bad. I think if we get that in there, I want to be able to fill, because it's going to go in a little further yet. I don't know. I say we get that inside panel on. It should be able to give us something we can weld back to that. And again, we're just going to fill over it with Bondo and then recarve all the lines in. But you got to be lower. You know, you can't be right on the money. You got to give yourself a little work room in there. All right, let's work on the under panel for now. We know what we're doing on this one. At least that's what I'm going with. All right, so where were we? We were going to go cut ourselves roughly probably about a 2.5 to 3 inch section. I'm going to do 18 gauge for here. A little thicker. Everything this is kind of made out of is 20, except for like, you know, these pieces. All this stuff is 20 gauge though. And I cut a 2-inch strip. Let's see how this 18 gauge, like I said, let's see how that does. Flush with that. I left it long off the other end just so that we can, if we have to, when we open up that wheel well, if we need some metal to work with, I'd rather clip it then. We need to change the angle of that too. Let's go with, actually that might be good right there. Oh, come on now. I don't even know if I have another one around here. Well, that's gotta go. I'll flush with that. Should be good. Let's go check out the other end. We can stitch that all the way across. Again, leave it hang. That'll be the bottom edge. As we missed a little up there. Not too bad. I think we'll call that out. Do I have room to get the other? I'm gonna go just one last time, butt the other panel back up to it. I'm pretty sure this can probably come down a little bit. I think we're even with this, but there's the thickness of the panel up that we want because it kind of goes underneath it. And we'll drop that down a hair, plier that thing up, and get some tacks on it. Let's throw some tacks on that. Just where the pliers are. Let's see what we get. She feels pretty good. Now hold on, I'll bring you back. Back over here. We're good up to about right here. Of course I don't have a Sharpie with me. Right past the word top. We need to knock some of this bend out of it to get it relaxed. You're laying on the bend, you actually see it's right here. So that needs to touch. This is all touching. Not so much. Let's see if we can do a little persuasion. Get some of that out. There we go. Go try it. I think I definitely overshot it over here. Let's go give that a little undo. The undo button. And now we're less, but let's go see how it looks. You may have to, we'll work that a little bit, but I want to see where we are with this. Either we went too far or right on the money. What do you think? A lot better. I think we're good here. Plus I think we're gonna slice some of this off, but I just, while we have the meat of it, I kind of want to influence that lip. It's pretty good. Right here we're touching. Right here we're out just a little bit. In the end, like I thought. Yeah. The end that we didn't do. We can take a little bit out of that, let that try to lay up against the body a little bit better. One more time. We might be able to roll this down. We might be able to roll this down a little bit once we do a fine fit before we weld it in. All depends on where it sits afterwards. That way, if we have to, when it's welded, then we can kind of come back and tap it. If we don't, we can leave it alone. If not, we have a little bit of fudge room and kind of feather that in like we talked about. I'd say that is looking pretty good. No air gap all the way across. Think you like it? I like it. Let's grab, I got a step tool. I'm gonna try putting a step in all the way down, give us some area, little cavity for it to sit in. This is what I'm gonna use. It goes in an air chuck. Basically it's the same as a regular setup, but it has a step built into it. Focus. All right. There's a step beat into it, so as you hammer the metal, it takes the bottom section and kicks it in a little bit and just rest it up against the saddle to make it the same dimension going all the way across. And because we cut a fairly straight line with the plasma cutter, we should be fairly good to go. I will definitely turn your volume down right about now. See what? And that will give room for that lip to sit so we can make a weld. What I'm going to do now, figure out where I need to be and slice off the top of this so that we can fit within this lip. Let's see, let's back it up. Fit right there. So we want cut right about there. Okay. Yeah. Rather cut it a hair a little too long. I like to cut it right on the money, but I'd rather be a little too long and come back with the sander and have to go sand off little sections than get down to the point where you're scabbing underneath that edge. We'll mark the other edge and trim it down. I hope I didn't ruin it. That would suck. I think that'll be pretty good, because that'll give us an area for the weld to sit in. And we grind it and then, bond it over it. So the whole idea is to recess that for that reason. Alright. So we throw some clamps on the bottom of it just to hold it. I'm not sure how that shows up, but that's much higher than here. All three are. Let's go give her some love taps and see if we can influence that to more of our liking. She says it's so much more proud than this is. Not that actually, if you have to, we can probably just put some filler over this guy too and blend it so it's all one size. But I'd like to try to get as close as we can. Make sure I don't hit you in the throat. I hit you in the throat. Things that this kind of needs to be rolled. Yeah, we have to do that on the bench. So we're gonna do that. Just maybe we'll try and roll that a little bit. I think that what there is a little too much material between here and here. Still, maybe I can work that line. We can cut this off too. We don't need this, do we? No, because that's up in here. Right, the furnace finally shut off. So that's it. I ended up coming back with a piece of round bar. And I laid a piece of round bar in it and hammered down on it. And it gave it the dish like here, somewhat. If I had done it when it was a larger piece, it would have come out better. Plus the round bar I used, I need to prep the ends of it because it was making some dents in it. You can kind of see. think it was a burr hanging off the edge of it. It was getting in a hurry. So we'll clean that up for the other side. I think we'll be fine. Like there's really nothing holding the top. Isn't even. It's not even really doing anything. And the same with this one. It's really not holding it to the body. So there's no stress on it. It's looking pretty straight going down it. Let's get in there. Looks pretty good. We'll screw that up when we weld it anyway. I'm liking it for a homemade panel. Again, each one you do, you get a little bit better at it. And then we get the drop on the back. So I think we are out of time for today. I'm out of time for today. I don't know how long the video is. But I like where we got. You know, bodywork is slow though. It's kind of, you know, getting an engine run. You can do that in a 45-minute video, restore a snowblower. But this kind of stuff, it's just the way it is. You know, unless you just kind of breeze through it and show people, look what I got done. And you don't show me the work. But I'm liking it. You go change your battery and we'll do a little sign off. All right, there we go. I'm happy with that. We can go get the wheel well on there. That just makes such a drastic improvement. Can't wait to get, I still want to start cutting that wheel well open, but I'm gonna go call it a night. I think it'll work out pretty good. Again, that center rib should have been a little skinnier. This dimension. Because when you bend metal, what I forget is it grows. The outside, let me try to explain it right. The outside edge of each will grow the thickness of the metal. So if you're making a bend, this dimension to the bottom and this dimension to here, whatever you measure it as, so you make this 1 inch, you bend it, it's going to be 1 inch plus the thickness of the metal. So you got to kind of subtract for that, and I didn't do that on that center rib. So that's why it's just a hair over what it should be. And for full disclosure, the rear section we did last time, I'll flip the gate up in a minute. So I put the tailgate on. The tailgate needed a bunch of love, and I really should have done that first. My mistake. The pins were seized. One was ripped, so there's a sleeve that's in here. The pin was seized to the sleeve. The sleeve ripped out of the tailgate on this side, and on this side, the pin is still attached, but it was just boogered in there and seized up also. So I freed all that stuff up, figured I'd put the tailgate on and look at how it was, and I found out why I had the problem on the previous video of from the outside to the inside wanting to have a twist to it, or a twist to it. This piece that was in the middle that was left over was bent too far out. You can tell by the drag marks here. So when you went to go close the tailgate, it literally pushed. That's nice now. It was literally pushing the whole thing in, and it just would not. You couldn't even latch the latch on one side. So I ended up hammering that whole thing in so that there's a gap. Now it's dark. But anyway, there's a gap now between there. But unfortunately, the casualties is the nice little metal work I tried to do on the back. Now has a dent and a dent. What I might do is put a pie cut in those. Put a slight slice in it. Let it take up some of the room, and then weld it back up. Or it might just take some quarter inch round bar, and weld it to the edges here and try to make like a little thing on the top. Oh well. Again, I want to wait for that corner. I don't know. I don't want to start welding stuff fine. That's why I'm not welding that, because we still have this to fit, and I don't want to fit this without the corner. We can cut it all away and get it set up, and we could do the inside of the bed. We could build this one inside here when we have that off, but it'll be for another time. I'm liking that. Looks cool with the chrome wheel wells. Alright guys, thank you all for hanging out with me and bringing some old rusty junk back to life. Till the next one. See ya.